Are you wondering if there is a best way to answer your exams so that you score more? Don't worry, you are at the right place. Dear student, I'm a psychologist Manisha here with another video about your exams. In today's video, we will discuss some tips and tricks that will help you perform well in your exams. Follow these suggestions to get good marks in your upcoming examination. This video is also applicable to all the exams where you have to write answer instead of just ticking or marking on an answer sheet. Whether arts or science, school or college, correspondence, open or regular, USA, India, Europe, China, Russia, Australia, Africa, wherever you are, whichever language you are giving the exams in. These fundamental points remain the same. For this video, we will use the guide called How to Score More in Exams. Many thousands of students have used it since it was first published few years back. It is free to download and use. The link is in the description below. This guide was written by MS Aluwalia, who was a senior person in the corporate world before retiring to do community related work. He has written this from his own experience. Because of a bad handwriting, he used to score low marks even if the exam paper was attempted well. Over the course of time, he figured some simple tricks and tips which significantly improved the marks. These tips were shared in the form of this short guidebook for the benefit of all the students. You should take a printout of the document and read it before every exam you are giving till you internalize it. And after that, just quick glance through to review the points. First, let's look at what you need to score more in your exams. You will already know the answer as most teachers and professors keep drilling this into the minds of the students. First, you need the knowledge. The better you know the topic, the more relevant content you have to answer the question. It's obvious we all know this. Second is how you present this knowledge in the exam. We write all that we know. What we forgot is that the examiner will read it and marks are based on the reading. As a result, when he looks out our answer sheet, what he sees is blackened paper with word overall. Does he have time to read through everything? No. So even great answers end up getting just above average marks. How can you improve? Present it smartly. In this document, we cover some tips that can make your answer much more readable to show that you know in less than a minute per answer. Now, the question is, how do you present smartly? There are three parts of this which we discuss in detail during this video. First, give your answer an explicit structure. Second, give your answer some space. And third, give your answers a nice look. Let's start with the first. How would you give your answers an explicit structure? There are two things you need to do. First, structure the content. Second, make the structure explicit, clearly visible. To structure, there are some simple tips you may have already learned in school. Divide the answer into sections and subsections: introduction, main body and content, conclusion or summary. The main body can be divided further by topics or points. Use technical keywords and highlight them. Some of you may already be doing this. How can you improve? Make the structure explicit. What does it mean? It means that just a glance should give the examiner an idea about the content. How do you do it? Explicitly state introduction, topic name, and summary. Divide content into short, easy to read paragraphs. Make a point using bullet or numerical list. Quote the quotes with space before and after. Give structure to your overall answer sheet. Indicate the beginning and end of answers clearly using lines, etc. Second thing you need to do is to give your answer some space. This helps in ensuring that your answer sheet doesn't look like some hodgepodge, black and mess. And how do you do this? First, frame the answer. Leave sufficient margins on all sides. About an inch should be sufficient, just like the frame of a picture. Second, space out the sections within the answer. For long answers, let a new section start on a new page. For short answer, leave a couple of horizontal lines after each section. Third, space out the points within the sections. Leave a line after any points that run into more than three horizontal lines. And finally, don't force fit the words. Don't try to squeeze in a 10 characters word in the space of for a 2 character one. So don't break it into parts or either. Just take it to the next line. Apart from structuring and spacing out your answers, you also need to give your answers a nice look. Nice look doesn't mean beautiful. It means that you present your knowledge in a way that the reader can absorb it in a matter of seconds. How do you do it? By using diagrams such as hierarchies, pyramids, process, flows, timelines, graph charts, and tables. One very important thing to remember here is that the diagram should be logically consistent with what you are representing. Otherwise, it might confuse the reader and they might consider that you don't know the content properly. For example, if you are showing a series of dates, they should be in a timeline format, not in a hierarchy. If you are showing a family structure, that should be in a hierarchy, not in a timeline. Normally, you use pyramids for single level hierarchical list, hierarchy diagram of multi-level hierarchies, timelines for ordered series of dates, flowcharts for showing process or steps, graphs for different kinds for different types of numerical data, and tables and metrics for any other kind of structured information or when you are unsure or don't have the time to make something more complicated. Was this too much for you to absorb? Let's quickly summarize this. Whether or not you decide to print the entire document, you should at least take a screenshot of this page and print it. Now, let's summarize what we discussed so far about how to score more in exams. First, you need to learn smartly so that you know the content. Then, you need to present smartly so that the reader knows that you know the content. How do you present smartly? First, you give your answer an explicit structure. You do this by first structuring your content and then making the structure explicit. Second, You give your answer some space. You do this by framing the answer, spacing out the sections, spacing out the points, and making sure that the words are not broken. Finally, you give your answers a nice look so that they become easier to read. For this, you use charts and diagrams of different types of tables. So now that you know the score more in the exams, what next? Do you need help in preparing for your exams? You can use super notes for studying for your exams if they are available for your course and subject. Link to access is in the description below. Super notes are created using a priority approach developed by bringing together the best of learning theories from psychology, design principles from the world of visualization, and pedagogical methods from over a decade of training experience that enables you to learn better and faster. And with this, we come to the end of today's video. Check out the links in the description below and the other videos in the series: how to prepare for your exams, and second, how to attempt your exams. These videos are available on the IGNOU free IGNOU Help Center channel. Please feel free to ask your doubts and questions in the comment section. See you again in the next video. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my social media channels at Manisha Pandey Psychologist for more awesome content. Wish you all the very best for your exams.